Well, it's categorically been a while since I last did one of these. The date is the 27th of December 2024. Time is 15:54. That's 3:54 p.m. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk about anything in specific today. This is just gonna be where I've been plus general yap. I do have a few ideas of things I want to talk about. I'll save those for another video. Just want to do this to make sure my tech is working. I've got a new phone, need to make sure that works for the camera. Let me just move my mic a bit closer. Alright, that should be better. So the last time I did one of these was the 3rd of September, so almost 4 months ago. September, October, November, December. Yeah, almost 4 months ago. And what have I done since then? In October, I went to Japan for 2 weeks. I went with there was 8 of us in total, so 7 of my friends. We went for 2 weeks. We spent a week in Osaka and a week in Tokyo. Obviously, in Osaka, we went to places like Kyoto and Nara and Himeji. And in Tokyo, we spent the week pretty much just in Tokyo because there was so much to do, so much to see. It was a great time. I would definitely recommend it, especially coming from a Eurocentric / American centric Western country. It's interesting to see how a collectivist first world society or city actually works, how different things are, and the good, the bad. And we spent a lot of time talking about why things are the way they are and how that permeates itself, or rather how the culture permeates itself into the everyday, and how that culture is then manifested in the things that we see. There's things you can appreciate, and the other way as well, things that you can appreciate about where you live. So where I live in London in the UK, there's things I can appreciate here, which probably isn't the same in Japan. So 2 weeks in Japan, maybe do a video about that later. Then I went to Stockholm for the weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I went to a Party Next Door concert, Party Next Door R&B artist. I was gonna go to his concert in the UK, but all of his dates in the UK were for when I was in Japan, so I obviously couldn't make it. So I got tickets to the one in Stockholm. So I used that opportunity to go see a friend of mine who I've known for like 8 years, but I've never actually met them in person. So that was nice. We did the usual stuff: cinnamon buns, coffee, bit of sightseeing. Then I went to with my family, so my parents and my sister went to Dubai for a bit. Not much to do there, or rather, I didn't do much there. I've been a few times before, but it was just a chill one, just sightseeing, did a bit of shopping, see what's new there. I haven't been in a very long time, so it was nice to see how things are different there, but also a different perspective because I'm a lot older now. I think I can probably put that and the Japan thing in its own video because I think there's some interesting points to talk about there. And then I went to Pakistan again. Lots of things to see there. Or talk about there. Sorry, I didn't expect my phone to be going off. Anyway, yeah, a few things in Pakistan. I was there for a few days and came back. That was the end of November, December. Here we are. It was Christmas 2 days ago. I had some family over. I cooked some lunch. Just chilling out. I had a bit of spare time. I'm like, hey, I haven't done one of these in a while. I have a couple of ideas that I actually want to talk about, and it would be a good place to talk about / vent / discuss, and just put it out there. The main motivator for me doing this was one of my friends. He's uploading some small vlogs about his travels, and for some reason I wasn't subscribed to his channel for whatever reason, but I subscribed to his channel. And then one of his videos came recommended on my YouTube recommended. So I watched it. It was a vlog about his travel in Germany with some friends. I was like, damn, I haven't uploaded in a while. Let me hop on as well, because it's something that I do want to do and something I find enjoyable. So here I am. But yeah, we're currently on only 5 minutes. Okay, I can go for a bit longer. Yeah, I think this last quarter of the year, so October, November, December, has been very interesting. A lot of new perspectives, a lot of developments, a lot of changes happening, and I think as we come to the close of the year, it's interesting to look back and see how things were this time last year or around this time last year. The things I was doing, the people I was friends with, the things that were going on in my life with work, with health, with working out, and seeing where I am now and seeing what I want to do for the next year. A lot of things have happened this year. I've had friends, and friends have lost people close to them. I have friends who have lost people close to them, whether that's directly family, whether that's breakups, whether that's all sorts. Some friends getting married, getting engaged. A lot's been going on within my circles. So it's interesting to see how much things have changed, where people are in a completely different position that they were in a year ago. And I'm excited to see how that manifests itself going forwards. Some friends have started new jobs after uni. They've started new work. It's exciting. I'm happy that they're able to do that work in the field that they want to work and start making money, being able to enjoy life without being broke. When you finish uni, you're working a part-time job. You don't really have much money, but now when you're working full-time, you have a lot more money to actually spend on yourself and the things that you want. A lot has changed, and all of that applies to me as well. There's things like job promotions that have happened. There's been other things going on. Some good, some bad, but all part of life. Which is also something else I'll talk about in another video. But yeah, that's been December. I've done a fair bit of reading in December as well. I can show you a few of the books I've been reading. One of them is called The Little Book of Deep Learning. This one is an extremely maths heavy book. A lot of the stuff goes over my head. Some of the stuff is reminiscent of things or reminds me of things that I learned at university, which is interesting. It's something with deep learning and AI and machine learning. I think it's something that's super interesting to actually know about. And if you have a curiosity about how it works or how the maths works behind it, go ahead and learn it. The resources are out there. I've been messing around with AI tools and understanding what they can do, and building up ideas around them. So I've been reading that. I haven't actually finished that one. I'm not sure if I will fully finish it. I'm more than halfway through, but it's just, I think right now, I think I took all the enjoyment that I wanted out of it. All the math stuff that I wanted to do. Yes, there is more math stuff. I might just flip through and read what's interesting to me. I'm not a fan of forcing myself to read a book if I'm not really getting much out of it. The other book I've been reading on my bed is called There Is No Antimemetics Division, Memetics Division, by an author called qntm. I believe he's a British author. This book is actually out of print now, because I think the author has a new publisher, so they're gonna republish the book. I ordered this and it came from the US, and it was the only one I could find. Really interesting book. It would be extremely meta for me to say I don't remember what happened in the book. Obviously, if you've read it, you would know. But it's a sci-fi book based on SCP. I think that's what special containment, something called secure, contain, protect. I can't actually remember. I'm not massive into SCP, but I saw this book. It looked cool. I enjoyed it. Some parts were a bit confusing. There's a bit of time jumping back and forwards. I quite liked it though. The other book that I read, I literally read it in one day, is called The Philosophy of Coffee by Brian Williams. I picked this up from the British Library when I went a couple of weeks ago. Picked up just because I like coffee. I was like, cool, it looks interesting enough, let me read it. It's a short book. It's more of a history about coffee, how it started in places like, I believe it was Ethiopia, then how it traveled across the world to Europe, and the different roles that religion also played in coffee spreading across the world, in terms of Christianity, in terms of Islam, why it became almost like a religious thing, or why it started with religious people bringing coffee everywhere they go, and how it sort of moved from there. So the biggest producers of coffee now I believe Brazil is the biggest producer of coffee, followed by Vietnam, followed by, I think, Cuba is the third biggest producer of coffee. Don't quote me on that, but I think the first two are Brazil and Vietnam, and how much they export. You know, the US is the biggest importer of coffee in terms of share volume, and I believe it's like Finland and Norway, which are the biggest importers per capita. So they are small countries, they have less people, but per person they import the most coffee. There's a big coffee culture in Nordic countries as well. In Sweden, obviously, we've had a lot of coffee there. But again, Finland and Norway, I'm not surprised that it's such a big thing there. But the book also talks about the cultural impact of coffee houses and why the ruling class didn't really like them at some points in history, and how things have changed, and how, you know, how tea became a thing, how coffee became a thing in like America, because there was a lot of resistance against, like, I believe it's the tax on tea that the US would import from Britain, which led to the Boston Tea Party and them throwing tea overboard. Short book. It's not like crazy amazing. It's not going to change your life. It's still really interesting. If you have an interest in coffee, go ahead, read it. Yeah, so I've read, or I'm reading those three right now. I think the next book I'm going to read, I can't remember if I have read it, but I believe it's. I've got a book on my desk underneath something else, so I can't exactly take it out right now. But it's called Leaders Eat Last by Simon Sinek. More personal development leadership book that I do want to read. So that's next on my list. Maybe I'll finish that in the next few days. Who knows? But yeah, I think that's enough of a warm up for me. It's currently, we're about 12 minutes into recording. I just want to do a little warm up, flex the speaking muscles, the breath control, whatever you want to call it, and just make sure all my tech is working. I'll obviously finish this recording, make sure it sounds okay, and then just whack it onto YouTube, upload it into the ether. Let's see where it goes. But yeah, I might even do some more recordings later tonight, or some more videos of the other topics I want to talk about. I've got ideas in my head. I've written the titles out, so yeah, it should be quite straightforward. But yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for listening or watching, however you wanna take it. Merry Christmas to those who fully celebrate into festivities. Happy New Year to anyone who doesn't watch my next video, or the next couple videos, or if my next videos are before the end of the year, you know, Happy New Year. And yeah, that's me. Stay safe. Peace.